365 Sports.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy Monday. Getting closer and closer now to Christmas time. That's always good. It's getting colder where I am. I love it. This is a fun time of year. One, because we've got a lot of football postseason. You had the championship weekend last week. You had selection day was yesterday for the college football playoff. You got all sorts of bowl game stuff going on. So it's all happening. And then on top of that, you've got basketball season starting to heat up. And we're going to talk about both of those things and how each of them pertain to Missouri. We're going to talk about all that today. We'll start with basketball because I think that's probably top of mind for a lot of fans right now. Missouri clashed with Kansas in the border war basketball rivalry game on Sunday afternoon in Kansas City. And the first thing I want to say about this, I mean, it is ridiculous to me that this game is being played in Kansas City on neutral sites, whatever. It's terrible. This is a game that, one, should be played every single year, and we'll see about that. Dennis Gates talked about how he hopes it's every year. Bill Self doesn't really seem to care about it as much. But it's ridiculous that this game was played in Kansas City. It's ridiculous. Play this game in Lawrence or play this game in Columbia or don't play this game at all, because the whole point, what makes this rivalry great is the fans and the students and the atmosphere. It was I wasn't there. I was watching on TV, but it was a lame-ass atmosphere, one. It was, in contrast to the game I went to last year in Columbia, which was the best atmosphere I've ever been in any basketball game ever. Sunday was terrible. It was so boring. It was quiet. It's just ridiculous, I thought. So I think it's a travesty that they're making them play this game on a neutral site. And I know that Missouri probably gets beat worse than they did if it's played at Allen Fieldhouse, but that is part of the fun of this rivalry, is playing, of any rivalry, of most rivalries in college football. The fun of it is playing on campus in front of your students. Like, that's the whole point of this. And I know Kansas City's only, 45 minutes from Lawrence and 2 hours from Columbia, but that's still not the same as playing it in Lawrence, which it should have been played in. I think it's totally ridiculous. That was my first takeaway. My second takeaway is Kansas City is in Missouri. I think people should know that. This game, T-Mobile Center, is in Missouri. So why in the world was this a semi-home game for Kansas? Why in the world did they have a Jayhawk in the middle of the court? That's crazy. Is that not ridiculous? I get that it's closer to Lawrence, but Kansas City is in Missouri, and for a rivalry that's so really volatile state-wise, the state line is a big line in this rivalry. To have Kansas play a home game in Missouri, that seems pretty weird to me. What if Ohio State and Michigan played a football game in, I don't know, border? What if they played a neutral site game and in football, I'm talking about, say it was in Ohio, but it was closer to Ann Arbor or whatever, and they put a Michigan logo up there? That'd be ridiculous. That seems so weird to me. Like Texas OU, they play in Dallas every year, so in Texas, but it's never it's never an Oklahoma logo. It's never a Texas logo. I get that it's a semi-home game and that's different than college football. I understand that. But this game was played in Missouri and there was a big Kansas Jayhawk in the middle of the court. Another reason why the the neutral site thing was ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I thought that it was comparatively to the last 4 years where it's been Lawrence, Columbia. This game was a sleeper for me, not just because Missouri got beat, but because it didn't have the feel that the last 4 games have had. And Missouri got its ass kicked in 3 of the last 4 games. So it's not like I'm mad because Missouri lost by 20. I'm mad because it didn't feel the same. So quit playing big rivalry games on neutral sites. It's stupid. It's very stupid. And I'm sick of it. And I've gone 5 minutes now. I haven't even talked about the game, so I'll do that next. My third point about this game, I don't think Missouri is very good. And that's a bummer to say because they were fun last year. They have a huge recruiting class coming in next year. This year, it felt like kind of an in-between year, especially, I don't know. You didn't really go dominate the transfer portal when I thought they should have been more aggressive there. And maybe Gates is allocating more funds to the high school side of things rather than transfer portal. But they lost Caleb Grill. They lost Tamar Bates. Those are your 2 best scorers outside of Mark Mitchell. But your 2 guys who could shoot, Tamar Bates, Caleb Grill. And they really don't do very well at all in replacing them outside of Jaden Stone, who is hurt now, had a good couple weeks, but is hurt now. This offense sucks. This offense is really terrible. The offense is give the ball to Mark Mitchell and just pray that he can either get fouled or throw up a bad shot and it goes in, because now teams are defending him in the paint. And when he gets going down the paint, he's tough to stop. But that's the only offense Missouri has. Really. Jacob Cruz kind of he was 3 of 7 from 3, had 11 points. He's the only other guy in double digits outside of Mark Mitchell. The offense is super stagnant, very stale. It's like giving it to your guy and saying, good luck, go score. Kansas had you just watch their offense, and obviously I told you in the preview that I did on Friday, if Darren Peterson plays this game, it's trouble because he's good. And Missouri saw that. But even outside of him, the offense looks more natural. It looks better. You're getting more. I just think this offense is super reliant on shooting threes. I don't think they're very good in the half court. And so when you don't have guys who can shoot threes, Missouri was 26% from 3. Kansas was 43% from 3. You're not going to win. And so saying about the portal, outside of Jaden Stone, who's hurt now, your portal guys are Javon Porter, who scored 4 points in 16 minutes. Sean Phillips, who only had 4 rebounds and is almost 7 feet tall. And Sebastian Mack, who didn't even come in until the second half, scored 3 points. And then on top of that, you have Anthony Robinson, who I thought was going to be a star for this team. And he has been really underwhelming this year. It seems like he's regressed. He hasn't gotten better. He's shooting worse than he shot last year. His assists are down. His personal fouls are up, which is the one thing he had to bring down, and they're up. He gets in foul trouble every single game. This was one of my favorite players last year. I really thought he could be a star, he could ascend this year and become like a really great guard in the SEC. And so far, he has not been very impressive at all. He had 5 points on 1 of 6 shooting, 3 turnovers in this game, 4 fouls. I don't know. I have not been impressed at all with Dennis Gates and staff. I have not been impressed with their ability to develop players and to work with players, improve players from year to year. Boateng, just kind of a guy out there right now. Just kind of, I mean, I don't know. He's just kind of a guy. He doesn't do that much. He rebounded well, I guess, but he was 1 of 7 from the field in 19 minutes. This was supposed to be this was like your prized possession in a top 5 recruiting class 2 years ago, and he's done nothing. T.O. Barrett is kind of the highlight of that class right now. He played 27 minutes, and he is what he is. He's a guard. He's a point guard. He's a good defender, but he's not anybody who's going to, give you much in terms of shot creation on offense. And then Trent Burns, the other guy out of that class, played 2 minutes and it did nothing. So the player development is something that is super important and that I don't think Missouri is very good at right now. I mean, Mark Mitchell is the only guy on this team who was here last year that is at the same level he was last year or better. Boateng, I guess you could say, is better because he didn't play last year. So I'll give you that. Robinson's worse. I guess Cruz is better. Maybe this argument is bad. But I think that a guy like Robinson, a guy like Boateng, you have to improve. That's your whole thing. You didn't get much in the portal. You're expecting these guys to get a lot better, and they haven't. They haven't at all. And I will say I think it's probably too early to give up on Missouri. They're 8-2, and it's the beginning of December. There's a whole lot of year left. But it's going to get really tough. It's going to get really tough for this team. Maybe when Stone gets back, your offense picks up again. I don't know. I mean, this is, I talked about it last week. The expectation here is you at least have to win one of the 2 games played last week against Notre Dame and Kansas. And you won none of them. And both losses were really disappointing because, for different reasons, Notre Dame was a game they had control of and let it get away from them. Kansas was a game that this is a rivalry game. And Missouri, got off to a good start. And the second half was a disaster. So 2 bad second halves where it feels like you're not making a ton of in-game adjustments, which is an important part of coaching. I think that, and I'm not putting this all in Gates. I know that you have to get more out of your players. Robinson, Boateng, Phillips. You got to get more out of those guys. But it doesn't seem like you're adjusting much. I don't know. But Missouri plays Alabama State and Bethune. 2 games they'll win, God willing. And then they play Bragging Rights in St. Louis. Another neutral site rivalry game. I guess this one's a little different because this is always neutral site. And it's during the break, the Christmas or winter break for students, so it makes more sense. But Kansas, Missouri should always be played at the home court. Come on. Anyway, they play Illinois to close out non-conference play. Illinois, by the way, 7-2, ranked 14th in the country, with wins over Texas Tech and Tennessee. And that'll be tough. And then guess what? Missouri hosts the defending national champion in Florida. They travel to Kentucky, number 18. They travel to Ole Miss. They host Auburn. I mean, it's going to get tough. You got to get this figured out quickly, really, really quickly, because it doesn't look good right now. Offensively, defensively, nothing looks good. And it's a lot. There's a lot of season left. There's a lot of opportunities in the SEC to pick up quality wins. And Missouri doesn't really have a bad loss. Like when you look at it on paper, technically, in terms of what the committee's going to look at, they don't have a bad loss. So if they can stack some good wins, keep the bad losses off of the card, there's still a chance that this team can do something. But I'm more worried about what we're seeing on the court. The on-court product has been extremely underwhelming. And I mean, it was just like last game yesterday I was watching and I was like, this isn't even fun. Like you're not scoring, you're not defending, you're not doing anything really well, you're not shooting. I'm not really having fun watching this game. And in the past, at least with Dennis Gates, and not usually for the Kansas games, Kansas usually beats Missouri pretty good. But even games they lose in, at least they're shooting well, and at least it's like a fun, it's exciting. This game wasn't exciting at all. It was a bad performance by Missouri. Gates has kind of had a pattern so far of good year, bad year, good year. I don't know if I'm ready to call this a bad year. I'm not. They're 8-2. They haven't started conference play yet. They're not healthy. Trent Pierce still hasn't touched the court. I mean, there's a chance Trent Pierce is the guy that takes a step. That would be great. But if you could get Trent Pierce and Jaden Stone back for this run and conference play, you never know. Maybe this offense takes on a different form and you feel better about it and whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Pierce. I think Stone is supposed to be back in time for that Florida game. At least that's the memo they put out. It was like they expect him back for conference play, which is good. But, man, a tough game against Kansas. If you missed it, Missouri lost 80-60. Mitchell led the way for Missouri at 21 points. No one else scored in double digits outside of Jacob Cruz with 11 points. Missouri turned it over 10 times. I don't know. We're out-rebounded big time, 41-35. Offense was stale. Shot 34% from the field, 26% from three, 52% from the free throw line. Again, free throws. Come on. Kansas shot 46% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, and 73% from the free throw line. Kansas also has four of their 5 starters getting to double digits. The one guy who didn't had 9 points and 8 assists. So just a more balanced team. It's a better team. Missouri, I don't think they're very deep. They have a bunch of guys Gates likes to play, but the guys that he likes to play aren't any good. So I don't think I'd call them deep. But yeah, just outplayed in pretty much every way. You're getting nothing from your point guard. You're getting nothing from your bench outside of Cruz, of course. You're getting nothing from your offense in general. Just a really bad omen for me for the rest of the year, and they got to get a lot of stuff figured out. A lot of season left. We'll see what happens. All right, let's now switch over to football. I've done enough on basketball. I think just overall, I'm disappointed. So I'm going to switch to football now. We'll talk about the SEC title game first.
Missouri, your moment is finally here because DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is now live in your state. Now you can make every game even more exciting with same-game parlays, money lines, props, and more. All from your phone, all safe, secure, and easy to use. Missouri fans know game day, the tailgates, the noise, the passion. Now, with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can bring that same energy to every snap, every touchdown, every win. And right now, new Missouri customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. No waiting, no nonsense. Just pure action powered by America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code ALLMIZZOU. New Missouri customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. That's code ALLMIZZOU. Crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Georgia, Alabama. Alabama has owned Georgia for a long time. They've beaten them a lot. Kirby Smart, it's his kryptonite, Alabama is. But Alabama could do nothing, could do no good against Georgia. Georgia beat them 28-7. Stamping a first-round bye, a top 4 seed in the playoffs, while leaving Alabama's playoff hopes in doubt. We later find out that Alabama gets in, but Georgia dominated this game. This is the Georgia defense that we've become used to. Allowed -3 rushing yards for Alabama. Hear that. -3 rushing yards on the game for Alabama. Turnovers were Alabama turned it over. That wasn't good. Alabama couldn't convert on 4th downs. Alabama couldn't really throw it very well. Georgia's just a better team. I picked Alabama to cover for some reason. Georgia made me look like a damn fool, but they are the SEC champions. So congrats to Georgia. But the playoff bracket, let's talk about it. Some people are very angry. Some people are not very angry. I'll just tell it to you how it is. Indiana knocks off Ohio State, clinching the number 1 seed in the playoff. They'll play in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. I mean, goodness gracious. Indiana, the 1 seed, if you told me that 2 years ago, I would have called you a liar. That's insane. That's insane. The 2 seed is Ohio State. It doesn't really matter because all these teams are getting byes, but I think Georgia did enough to become that 3 seed. But Ohio State is the 2 seed. They'll play in the Cotton Bowl. Hey, remember last time Ohio State played in the Cotton Bowl? I think it was probably the last time. Actually, can't confirm that really. Let's see. No, I'm an idiot. I went to the last time they played in the Cotton Bowl, and that was against Texas. But the time before that, you know what happened? Missouri beat them. So something to know. All right, number 3 is Georgia. They'll play in the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl on January 1st. By the way, Cotton Bowl is December 31st. Sugar Bowl and Rose Bowl are January 1st. And Texas Tech, the 4th seed, the 4th and final bye is the Capital One Orange Bowl, also on January 1st. Those are your top 4 seeds: Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech. From there, it goes number 5, Oregon, who will play James Madison in Eugene. That's a home game for Oregon. Oregon's favored by 21 points. That game will be played on December 20th. The winner of that will play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The 6th seed is Ole Miss, Lane Kiffinless Ole Miss. Pete Golding will lead the way against Tulane, a rematch of a previous game this year where Ole Miss got after Tulane. This one is at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 17.5-point favorite. That game will be played on December 20th. The winner of that takes on Georgia, the Bulldogs. Number 7 is Texas A&M. All this is good so far, right? We expected all this. But they're taking on number 10 Miami. This is one of the areas where people were pretty frustrated. I don't give a crap about Notre Dame, so I don't care. But Notre Dame was ranked ahead of Miami in all the playoff rankings before this, and out of nowhere, neither of the teams play this week, but Miami jumps them and gets into the playoff. They'll play against Texas A&M on December 20th. A&M is a 4-point favorite. That game will be in College Station and will be absolutely nuts. The winner of that game will play Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. And then finally, 8 and 9, Oklahoma versus Alabama. We all knew Oklahoma would be in. Alabama, a 3-loss team getting in. I get it. You can't penalize. I don't like penalizing a team for losing in a conference championship game. But the committee penalized BYU for losing in championship game. And there were other SEC teams that I think deserved a shot. I mean, like Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt was snubbed here. I don't know how you watch that team with the quarterback they have and think you should leave them out of the playoff as a 2-loss SEC team. But it is Alabama who gets in. That'll be in Norman, Oklahoma, Alabama. Another rematch. Oklahoma won that game. I believe Oklahoma won that game in Tuscaloosa earlier in the year, too. This one in Oklahoma. Alabama is a 1.5-point favorite. The winner of that will go on to play Indiana in the Rose Bowl. That game, by the way, Alabama, Oklahoma, is December 19th at 7 o'clock. So there's your playoff bracket. It is what it is. I don't have too many gripes with it other than I'm sad for Vanderbilt. A great year, a good team, 2 losses. I always thought 2-loss SEC teams were locks, but this year was, pretty crowded on the bubble, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I feel bad for them, but that program's trending up, and they'll have another chance to do it. I just know I would be if this was Missouri, and we're a 2-loss team, and in our last game we went into Knoxville or say we went into whatever rivalry game we play, we go into Tennessee and win by 20 points. I would be pissed as a 10-win team, 2-loss team not getting in. So I don't know. All right. Speaking of Mizzou, though, Mizzou doesn't make the playoffs. Spoiler alert. But they do make a bowl game. They're 8-4. They have a chance to win 9 games or more 3 years in a row, which I think would be a pretty historic thing for the Tigers. The last time they did that, 9 wins or more 3 years in a row, it looks to me like it's been a damn long time. Looks to me like maybe it's never been done. It's never been done. Ever. So this is a big chance for Missouri. They are playing in the, Tax Slayer Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. And they'll play Virginia, who lost the ACC championship game, missed the playoff. Virginia's good. That'll be a really fun game. I'm excited about that draw. These are 2 good teams. And we'll see who ends up playing. You have these bowl opt-outs now these days, so you don't know how many of these guys are going to play. But this is going to be a fun game. This is I think this is a great matchup. And, I know bowl games, regular bowl games really don't have they don't hold a ton of meaning anymore. And this doesn't mean a ton except for the fact that you can win 9 games. But it's going to be a fun matchup. Virginia's good. Missouri's good. It'll be fun. This game will be played on December 27th, I believe on ABC. So prime time. What time do they play is a question. Let me try to figure that out. 6:30 on ABC. So yeah, good stuff there. Missouri has played in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl before. The last trip was in 1968 against Alabama. They beat Alabama 35-10. In 1949 and in 50, they went to the Gator Bowl twice in a row, lost to Clemson and Maryland. But the last time they went, they beat Bear Bryant in the Crimson Tide. So good memories there. But yeah, that's where Mizzou will be playing. One last chance to see this Missouri team play, and then it is full force, all sorts of transfer portal activity, which is a lot of fun to keep up with. But I'm excited to get to see this team play one more time. I think that'll be good. All right. Last thing I have, just my SEC final power rankings. Not much changed, but I figured I'll give them to you, and then I'll sign off, and I'll come back tomorrow to, oh boy, I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow because we don't have a game to dissect. We'll figure something out. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about something. Here are my power rankings, though, and I'll leave you with that. Arkansas 16, Kentucky 15, South Carolina 14, Florida 13, Mississippi State 12, 11 Auburn, LSU 10, Tennessee 9, Missouri 8, Oklahoma 7, Texas 6, Vanderbilt 5, Alabama 4, Ole Miss 3, Texas A&M 2, Georgia 1. There you go. All right, that's all I have. Thanks for joining me. Come back tomorrow. Find out what we talk about. I don't know. It'll be a surprise for me and you what we do tomorrow. But I'll see you there.
365 Sports.